Hello, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're playing Satisfactory and we're doing episode 12 of the Ultimate Let's Play. And some things are going to change today. Last time we built this. Today we're starting a new city. Yeah, I'm not joking, we're starting a new city. So if we go over on this side, we had a live stream after episode 11 dropped. And I had a long conversation with my partner Empress, and she had a really good thought, and she made me realize that I felt like creatively stuck. So I built this. Space elevator is now over here. And if we go up a little bit, you can see starter base is completely gone. Essentially, I'm feeling a bit creatively stuck, and what it boils down to is I have pretty much finished everything that I can creatively with Clearhaven. I will finish building Clearhaven, but it's going to be on the live streams only. So if you want to see that build, show up on the Sunday live streams. They start after this episode has gone out. This episode goes out 16:45 CET for me, like Swedish time, and then we have at 1800 Swedish time CET, we have live stream going live. So we ended stream with sending the space elevator, and on top of that we have also started unlocking everything, because that's one of the principal things I do when I unlock new phase. Before I start building, I unlock everything in the new tiers. So we got the jetpack, and we look here. If you look in the bottom left corner, you can now see I am flying with fuel, not with the god mode thing, or like creative flight. And then we have the oil processing, which is plastic, rubber, circuit boards. We get access to the refinery, which unlocks a bunch of new things for us to do. We can start using oil generally. We have belts Mark 4, so now we can move 480 per minute. And we have the trucks, which is like really big tractors. Fluid packaging, so we can package liquids, which means that if we have surplus of some stuff, we can pack it, fuels or water or whatever, we can package it and then sink it. And then we have petroleum power, which is fuel power generators, which is larger fluid buffers. And yeah, we already have Catermore as a scannable resource. But then we have industrial manufacturing, which is manufacturer, which is a 4 input, 1 output building. Computer and heavy modular frame, and then we have our new space elevator parts, the modular engine and adaptive control unit. Then we have trains, railway signaling for the trains. We have everything there, and then we have pipeline pump Mark II and pipeline Mark II, which is 600 per minute, and this can lift for 50 meters. Our head lifts 50 meters. And then the Mark II blueprinter, which is a 5x5. So we have a bunch of stuff to unlock. I'm going to do that, and I'm also going to be revealing what the second city will be. And to start out with, it's over to this direction. So I'm just going to yeet myself over there with the Yeetificator 9000 plus 1. Blueprint for that is on my Discord. So now that I'm flying and I have my jetpack, I can steer myself in the direction I want to go, which is over here. I use the jetpack to just continue onward a little bit. Let's brake. We don't want to fly off the map here. And then let's stop ourselves before we die. Ah, perfect. So to make it simple, we are going to build over here, and it's going to be largely over the water, but we will in certain aspects go over the land as well. Well, that is essentially what we're starting to do with today's episode. Long intro, but I think it was important to set that up. So in this city will be called Mournrock. We have Clearhaven over there, and we're gonna have Mournrock over here. So I'm gonna start with, like, just to make it easy for you guys to also get the scale of this city. I'm going to start outlining where it's going to be in the water. So I'll be back in just a second when I have done that. Because I'm not exactly sure. I'm gonna have to like fiddle back and forth, and it's just a line of foundation. So nothing complicated, but we'll be right back. There we go. Welcome to the top of the world. Literally the tallest place on the map, and spicy rock here. Uranium node. But over there, as you can see, like this is how far back I needed to go to accurately like show you the whole thing in one frame. I'll try to avoid all the beasties. There we go. Nope, did not avoid all of them. And we are going to be working on wireframing because it's going to be a mega factory essentially. So it's going to be one big thing, and instead it's going to have internal like districts rather than like separate buildings the way we did it in Clearhaven. And I am going to very, very clearly outline that today so that we have a general idea for how big it's going to be. But there is something that I tend to do when I go to a new, or not new, but a place I haven't built in a long time, is that I do a walkabout. First of all, I want to find all the Mercer spheres and summer sloops in the biome, but also just so that I can familiarize myself here. I want to be feeling comfortable and everything, because otherwise you kind of feel stressed when building and stuff. I don't want that. So I'm going to take a bit of a walkabout. I'm going to spend an evening just chilling, like listening to podcasts and taking a walkabout, fighting all the spiders, of course, because all the caves here are riddled with spiders, and there are some massive caves underneath here. There's like massive caves. I think there's literally a cave under this, or is it over there? Over there, maybe. Yeah, over there. So there's some stuff, but I am going to do that, and we will be right back. Okay, we're back. I have my little bit of a lookout tower here. We are going to keep lining this up, and I want to basically brick this entire thing. And I've outlined the outline with basic fix-it foundations, but I want to bring in the rest with the concrete foundations. So let's get going with that, and hopefully I might be able to make that into a time lapse, because it's just gonna be one big ass like making a blueprint and then a 5x5 blueprint, and then I'm going to just brick this whole thing. So let's go. I'm right back again. Sorry. I forgot to tell you guys, but I got almost 20 Mercer spheres, and I got 8 more summer sloops, and then a bunch of slugs of different sizes or different levels, a bunch of stinger remains, some of the hog remains, but mostly hatcher remains actually. Like stinger and hatchers were what I got the most out of, and then spitter was the third place, but hogs was there was some alphas, a couple of cliffs hogs and everything that I killed, but nothing really special. So I am still on my way out. Oh, that's a slug I missed. Perfect. It was too close. But yeah, let's get started and do a time lapse. So we're back. We've covered everything we wanted to cover in concrete. We've gotten to the point where it's having trouble keeping up. You can see that it flickers a little bit. And that is like the engine trying to render just after we pass. Like, so it's not rendering the foundations that are covered by the Nobelisk and the Nobelisk detonator. But when we turn, you can see that it is loading them in. And or rendering them, and that's like we have enough foundations that it's having a little bit trouble with that in this specific area. So we gotta keep that in mind. But we have one step left here, and I thought you wanted to be here for this, because who doesn't like the smell of Nobelisks in the morning? There is some cleanup left to do, but generally we got this pretty good. And then we have the first logistics floor done. And then I'm going to go into detail about what we're actually building in this city. Like, what the style is gonna be, and what we are making in terms of numbers and stuff like that. And I might do that while... actually, like a little bit later, but I might do that while we are doing a time-lapse of the rest of the wireframing for the exterior of the city, which I'm really looking forward to. Like, it's gonna be really cool. But yeah, I'll be back once I have gotten rid of all of this foliage. All right, I just wanted to show, like, look at this. This is insane. I basically wanted to show how massive this is. So this is 26,000 foundations, and this is the entirety of Clearhaven. Like, the surface area that this city takes up is probably twice as large as Clearhaven. That is insane. It is completely crazy. That, like, just wanted to show you that. Let's head back in. Okay, so we're back in the game. For you guys, it's been a few seconds. For me, it's been like 10 hours of gameplay. It's been 2 days. And I have essentially tried to make clips and record and all of that kind of stuff, and I've kind of just like failed at it. In terms of like stress, and I haven't really, like, it's been too much, or I've been really bad at whatever I'm recording. So I'm just gonna show you what I've done. And we're looking at 10 hours of me preparing to build a Megafactory, because that's what this city is gonna be. And the style for said city is here. These are the blueprints that will constitute the exterior and some of the interiors that are attached to the exterior. So we have our straight walls. This is the interior of the straight wall. This light will be the same kind of like greenish, a little bit softer, and these lights will be cyan. They will create a blend that I call ethereal nausea. It's kind of the point. And the entire style itself is like a mix of, you know, Necrons from Warhammer 40K. The city structure will be inspired a lot by their like citadels and stuff like that. And also Human Empire in 40K, their what's it called? Their hive cities. And on top of that, if you know the alien race, that their technology you find and stuff in Subnautica, I think they're called like the architects or something like that. Them, that's also something I've like tried to go for a little bit with, and I've prepared a bunch of blueprints that we will be using, and I've also prepared so I can show you what it's gonna look like before we go ahead and smash all this down, because this episode will finish with me having placed all the walls for the first layer, because we're gonna have multiple layers of this. So this is what it looks like out here. I might take some damage as I'm showing you guys this, because that's the map border, we're that close. So this is what it looks like applied to a corner where all of the green stuff, I might need to change up this so it like lines up properly, but all the green stuff is meant to be kind of like power conduits. And yeah. So all of these blueprints, of course, are available on my Discord. So from the time this episode goes up, these blueprints will be in their own folder called Mournrock, or Mournrock Blueprints in the Blueprints folder. So if you want these specifically, you can head on over there and grab them. So the outside have this section. This is the like normal like diagonal wall. Then you have a normal corner and diagonal wall again. Then you have the straight wall, a normal corner. If we look on the inside, I've just put in lights here so you can see anything. There should be like 2 switches, like light controls, that controls all of this internal lighting. And then you're gonna have like catwalks up top that will be stretching across the whole thing, giving us the ability to traverse on top of what goes on down here. And what goes on there, that was going to be saved for episode 13. So really do show up if you want to see more of this. Now, what I'm going to do, and because this is like, before I start any kind of like time lapse or anything like that, this is super important. Because we're building so big, I can't reasonably say that, hey, this is a building block. Because of how big this is. Like, my smallest building block is this. These are my smallest building blocks. And I need to have the variety that we have here in terms of shapes. If I go in so we only have the basic shapes, but every shape. If we look here. This is what I need to have prepared to have the same level of freedom when building building the city, like its structures and everything. I kind of need all of this, and on purpose I have basically made, there's gonna be no windows, there's gonna be none of that, because it's supposed to be, you know, when you're inside, it's supposed to feel oppressive and ethereal and like you're somewhere you shouldn't have gone. And then on top, like when we go in here, you see here's like, this is one of the roof pieces that has like built-in railway that's gonna have light on it as well. So this is gonna be part of both the interior or internal logistics, like moving stuff from one another factory to the other. This is gonna be part of that, but this factory or this city is also going to double down as the world like logistics hub. So anything we are moving throughout the world at any point that needs to go on a train or switch over to a truck or a drone, or from a drone to a train or whatever it is, it's going to happen in this city. So there's going to be built into the architecture, to the superstructure of the city, you're going to see this. And do you think this is the height we're going to limit ourselves to? No. If we're going to the blueprints, we are also going to have where are you? There. A second, like what about second layer? That's gonna be like this. Or there, yeah, this is gonna be a corner. So, where do we have you? Wall corner there. So I'm gonna have this, boom, like so. So we're going to have more layers, and then you're gonna have a second layer on the city, and then you're gonna have a third layer. So we're gonna have almost like a ziggurat style pyramid influenced Megafactory that has like Necron, Hive City, architects kind of like vibes to it. Tell me if you agree that I've kind of like nailed that, or if I've missed something. Sadly, I can't put in the Hive City like screens of all the dying people and stuff like that. I don't really have those assets for the game, but I'm really happy with this. I've spent 10 hours making all of these blueprints, and I have made, like, if there's any specific like part of these that you don't like, how have you done this, how have you achieved this, ask in the comments, and I will see if I can make a little bit of a video or make a little bit of a segment in the next Let's Play episode where I just talk a little bit about the very specific parts of the factory. Now, with that said, we have a lot of wall to place, so let's get cracking. I just realized that I am using Mark II power connectors everywhere in this, and I have nothing producing quick wire. So just give me a second, I need to go set that up. We're back in Clearhaven, and as you know, we have some Caterium being made here. Ta-da! Ta-da! So I'm just going to very, very quickly drag that somewhere. I might literally just put it on this floor for now. And just put down like constructor stuff here in the center as a temporary thing. Because I have, like, my computer factory is going to be over there. But I haven't really set up how to get anything over there yet. And I don't really have time to in this episode. So I'm going to just figure something out. I might have space down here. Do I have space over there? I might have space over here. I might do it here, actually. Yeah. I'm gonna set up some quick wire production. I'll be right back. Here it is. This is super temporary. We're bringing down a bunch of Caterium. I think it's like 60 per minute. And they go in here. I have summer sloop these temporarily. So I have double output. So I have filled a Mark IV belt. 480 per minute is going out here. Because we want to get this in as fast as possible so that we can just smack down all our wall blueprints. Now, without further interruptions, I'm gonna yeet myself back, and when I've gotten back to Mournrock, I will just continue with the time-lapse and smacking down all the walls. So, see you over there. I recorded, I think, 5 different clips trying to make a time-lapse out of this. They don't really work out, mostly because these pieces are so expensive that I kept running out of material, so I had to pay, like, stop and wait for like several minutes for things to load back up so I could keep building. So what I've ended up doing is essentially now like place down, so I have all the walls all the way around except for over there. And that is because I have a specific plan for that area over here. But what we're seeing here is the general outline as planned of the entire space. I'm really, really happy with this. I think we can get some really, really cool stuff out of this. And like these green power conduits and stuff like that, I think that it's gonna be really, really, really cool. And this like first level, like yes, this is a logistics floor, but instead of making a second floor on top of this, what I'm going to do is kind of make like islands out of like foundations like this. So I have an island like this that has like one machine section that does a part of the production that I need. Not necessarily like a full part, but like I can fit a few refineries on here to make some plastic, for example. And then down here, like on this level, is where I'm running belts and pipes and stuff like that. So that I have like rivers and like lakes of logistics. And then I'm using like catwalks between the islands and stuff like that. And I want to make this place look like very, very like close in. It should be big. It should be feeling vast. Like the scale itself is a part of the design choice. And then you have these islands with some machines processing, making ingots or plastic or fuel or whatever it's going to be. And then once the space is kind of filled up, I move up one floor and do the next kind of thing. But then this floor is going to feel like those like eerie catacombs, depending like well however you would pronounce that. But yeah, like that's kind of the idea, at least. So I'm like I've given up on trying to make time lapses out of this. It takes too much, like there's just too much weird stuff with having to wait. But just know that what I'm going to do, like one lap around takes about an hour to make. So I'm going to just take the diagonal now, and I'm going to do the same thing if we look, I can very easily, because I've lined this up already, I could just snap this on and just go along and keep snapping. Boom, doom. And then I have to wait. I have to wait for the steel beams to fill up. Like, this is why I'm not going to be making a time lapse out of this. I'm going to be back when we have the full circle here. I just want you to know that this is what I'm doing. And as you can see, like, you get this really, really nice aesthetic. Very, very, like, bright. These, like, energy conduits. All the green glowy stuff is like energy conduits or energy crystals. Is kind of the idea. Which is, like, to me, fits very well. Because this is going to be... Oh, what was it? I calculated I'm going to basically need 22,000 megawatts of power to run this city. So I'm going to have to build a fuel power plants and stuff like that. Which we will do. That's going to be like a separate project. But I do want this done first so that we have good thumbnail material, to be real. Like, but also want you guys to see this and go like, wow, that's really cool. And if you have specific like feedback or anything like that, you can deliver that feedback, and I'd be happy to listen. As long as you're constructive about it. Either way, let's go. Now, I am going to place a lot of diagonal wall. So the diagonal walls are done. If we look all the way around, that is set up. And something to keep in mind with all of these blueprints and everything that I'm using, some of them needs like nudging, and some of them needs very, very small nudging, some of them needs more. They don't necessarily snap to each other perfectly. Something to keep in mind is I'm using a mod for this. I'm using infinite nudge, and I haven't necessarily tested out if they work without infinite nudge, if the nudging increments are small enough. So if you need to have very, very small increment nudges and stuff like that, like, test it out, and if they can't match up, then put it in the comments. Like, don't necessarily think I'm going to fix it, but I definitely think that it's good that we know. So yeah, we're going to do the railway sections now, and what I need to do to make sure that this works, like, this isn't even done correctly. I need to fix this corner first, because this needs to be down one section, because if you look over here, they have not been lined up properly with the catwalks, so they're too high. So I need to fix those things, and then once it is, like, the corners are done, like I said, I would do a time lapse of this. I don't necessarily have all the resources or enough resources to do all of that. But yeah, what I need to do is, as you can see, things here aren't necessarily lined up properly, and I want to fix that. So I'm just gonna start with removing anything that wasn't originally part of a blueprint around here. There's a little bit of work that needs to be done here, but shouldn't be that difficult. Around this whole thing, we got the railway set up. I'm just gonna have to pull the rails, and like you can see over here, I'm gonna show you, like, this corner hasn't been set up yet. But the way that I've done the corners is I carve out where the rail is supposed to go. So you can see over here, this used to be a blueprint of 5x5 foundations that I've then carved out to make my curves and everything in. And then you can see I've done the similar thing over here. Like, I've created like a custom blend between two different where they overlap. Otherwise, it's just the same thing along the entire way. So that if you look at it from the outside, there's going to be another wall here. Remember, another one of these. Gonna go around, and you can see, very, very nice. There's gonna add a lot of life and detail and light, because there's like a lot of these green signs here that are gonna be adding some light to everything. So yeah, plus the actual lights. I'm really, really happy with this. I love the way this looks. Just looking at this is super impressive in my opinion. Like, just the scale of everything is so cool. But what I want to do is say thank you guys for watching. I need to end this video, and I need to go edit it, and everything. I still need to fix those. And I will see you guys in the stream, that's starting in an hour. Or, not an hour, but like starting around this time. Or I'm gonna see you in episode 13, or another tips and tricks video. I'm gonna see you somewhere, either way. If you like this video, show that with a thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Have a great one, everyone.